Plaintiff Lisa Romero rented an apartment from the defendant, and she also worked for him. Lisa claims the defendant sexually harassed her for months and even offered her money for sexual favors. She's suing her former landlord for harassment and unpaid wages. Defendant Sheikh Kayam insists Lisa is completely lying about the sexual harassment, and he claims Lisa is a prostitute who often showed up to work high on drugs. Sheikh is countersuing for unpaid rent and stolen money.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I'm here today because I was sexually harassed. I'm a former tenant and a former employee. I started working for Sheikh in May of 2010, and while working in one of the units painting, he walked into the unit and started a conversation and then tried hugging me and stole a kiss from me on the cheek. At this time, I got offended and I walked out of the unit. I had kids to support, so I continued to work. In July of 2010, he asked if I would be a property manager, and I agreed and I accepted the job. He came to the property quite often, more than usual, and he would ask if I would perform sexual favors, and he offered $10, $20. It went on for several months, and...
What would you say?
No.
Okay.
I was disgusted.
And how long did he continue to proposition you for sex?
All the way up until December.
And all you would say is no?
I would leave, I would hide in my apartment. I wouldn't show up to work. He would send tenants, all the tenants went and knocked on my door. He'd see my kids outside, he'd start harassing them, asking them questions.
Did you have a boyfriend at that time?
In the beginning, no.
At any point during the
yes,
time?
in the end.
Did you tell him?
Yes.
What did he say?
My boyfriend wanted to go out and yell at him, but he didn't say anything.
What did he suggest to you?
He suggested I quit.
Okay. Is this the gentleman, your boyfriend?
Yes.
All right. You want to stand up, sir? Sure. State your name.
William Benton Jr.
What do you want to tell me about this alleged sexual harassment?
When she did inform me about it,
about when did she start telling you?
It was before Thanksgiving last year.
All right.
I should just suggest to her that she needs to get a lawyer or she needs to go to somebody to talk to, because I feel that she didn't have to live like that, and she didn't have to accept that kind of treatment or anything. All
right, if it happened, I'm glad you didn't get violent. That's a very good way to respond. That's a very dignified way to respond. Good. And if and when did it stop?
It still goes on.
You still live there?
No.
Okay.
He harasses my family. He has my sister who now works for him, who's now his property manager, call my mom and say, oh, he needs to talk to me. He just has questions for me if I would call.
Let me hear from you, sir.
Your Honor, that's total lie. Totally lie. She has been evicted from my brother's apartment, and she went to Maji Mason Center for prostitution and for child abandonment, all kind of stuff. She was there.
You have evidence of that?
I don't have evidence for that.
You have a bunch of paperwork there.
Okay.
And you're going to allege that this woman was a prostitute, and you have nothing there to prove it.
Your Honor, that's what she told me. That's what she told me.
Okay.
Now,
how did you all get into that conversation?
One day she was sitting in the office. She was telling about her life story. How hardship she was. She told me.
When did she say she had been a prostitute?
Well, she didn't have when my brother's apartment, when she didn't have a rent to pay or feed the kids, she didn't have money, she had to make money somewhere.
That's what she told you?
That's what she told me.
Okay.
And from there, she was evicted. Every apartment I pulled her history was evicted all the way. Till now, she don't have a place to stay.
Her
because
previous apartment.
I pulled the history of the...
You have that?
No, I didn't. I looked at it.
You have all this paperwork. And so far, all the things you've told me, you have no way to substantiate it. What is all that paperwork you have?
Okay.
It looks like you have about 300 pages.
Yeah, I do.
There.
I do.
So far, nothing you've said. Can you back up?
Okay.
So, let's move on to you responding to what she said. Have you ever kissed her on the cheek?
No, Your Honor.
Have you ever made advances at all toward her?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, good enough. Has she ever alleged that you were harassing her sexually?
No, Your Honor.
This is the first time you've heard it.
Yes, Your Honor, from her.
Okay, good enough.
Plaintiff Lisa Romero is suing her former landlord because she claims he sexually harassed her for months and even offered her money for sexual favors.
So let's move on. What happened after that? Let's get
He
to
used
your
to harass
wages.
my 10-year-old son and my 5-year-old son, asked them questions about my boyfriend and asked them questions of how big his private was, who was in my apartment. I even have a statement from my 10-year-old son.
Read it. What you want me to know?
At first, he started watching our apartment from the parking lot. Then he started asking me who was in the house and who was my mom's boyfriend and how big his private. Then he kept knocking on our door really early in the morning. He told my mom to go to the office because he needed to talk to her because she was the manager. When she did go, I would wait outside because he'd shut the door and lock it. She talks loud so I could hear him telling my mom to private. And to lay with him, my mom would say no. Then I would keep knocking because my mom said not to leave her.
That's enough, ma'am. Sir, does this young man, this 10-year-old, he's making all that up also?
Your Honor, I don't have a contact with the young kids.
Right. And
So-
this is the first time you've heard this
Yes, Your
allegation? All right, good enough. And how does he owe you for unpaid wages?
He kept my paychecks for the weeks of 11/14/2010 to 11/20, and then the pay date of 11/21/2010 to 11/27/2010.
Is that it?
No, there's one more. 11/28 to 12/4/2010.
Okay.
The check amount
Yes.
that I would have took home would have been $280.
And what did he tell you when you asked about your money?
I don't owe him anything because I owe rent. But I have rent receipts showing that I paid because he wouldn't give me my paychecks. I would work for my rent. Instead, he filed eviction after he said we had
Sir,
written.
let me hear your side.
Your Honor, I have a copy of the check
see
was
it,
paid
please.
to her. And then I have a, what's called a statement from each one was paid.
What are you handing me this to
That's
say?
the paycheck
It says zero.
she took an advance. She would keep
Does
on
it say
taking-
that on the
Yeah, look on the top.
advance?
Yeah.
$150.
Yeah, which was deducted from her paycheck.
Ma'am?
I never seen that paycheck or check stub or whatever.
Yeah, because he didn't give it to you. Why didn't you give it to her, sir?
I couldn't get hold of her. If I go close, what she says, she's gonna say, "Hey,
Okay, she says you evicted her. When did you evict her?
okay, Your Honor, I have that
When did you
too."
evict her? Did she come to court for the eviction?
No, Your Honor. She was so doped up, she can't even know what's going on around there.
Doped up off what, sir?
I don't know, Your Honor. So
Well,
one day,
how do you know she was doped
one day
up?
when she was working, she came to the office. We had a meeting. She was falling apart. I had to send somebody to go get the medication. They still not. She had,
Well, we're talking about the morning in which she missed court.
Because the-
now you're defaming her.
the gentleman standing next to her, he don't work. He sells dope only. There's a high dope.
So
dealer.
what does that have to do with her being doped up that morning, him selling drugs? And by the way, how long have you known that?
For a couple of months.
While she was living there?
Yeah.
So you were a accessory. They're living on your property.
That's why I evicted her.
Using and selling
That's why I
dope.
evicted her. And he was not on the lease either.
Let's see your
For
eviction papers. You evicted her for dope?
No, I evicted
Well
her
then, if you didn't put dope, then that's not the reason you evicted her. Why did you just tell me you did?
Because when I started,
Because what?
when I started eviction,
I'm not going to let you sit here and defame this woman. She alleged that you were a sex fiend that harassed her. Now I ask you about this check that you never gave to her. You said she didn't come to court because she was all doped up that morning. I said, how do you know she was doped up if you never saw her that morning? You say, because her boyfriend sells dope. I say, well, how long did you know that? You say, for a few months. I say, well, you're an accessory if you knew they were selling dope and you did not do anything about it. You say, no, that's the reason I evicted her. I say, where's the papers that show
That's one
that
of
you
the
evicted them for dope? You say, well, no, that's not what I evicted them for when I asked you for the papers.
That's
Do you have any more evidence,
Yes,
ma'am?
Your Honor, he does
He
have-
got a whole stack. He hasn't shown me anything yet.
He
What
does-
is it that you want to show me,
Okay,
sir?
the eviction paper here. I gave a 3-day notice.
All right, let's see. Did you go to court and get a conviction judgment?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that's what I need to see.
Then I gave a summons which she's supposed to file the answer for the summons. She never did that.
He
So
cheated on paperwork.
let me see the judgment. Is that what you're suing for? You're suing for unpaid rent and stolen money. Is that for the judgment you've received? Is that the rent you're suing for?
No, I'm suing for the left of the lease.
What evidence do you have? You
He
want to
does
show
have
me,
knowledge
ma'am?
of the sexual harassment. We made an agreement that I would make payments on the December rent
Let's
that
see
I
it,
owed him.
please.
And he agreed to it as long as I wouldn't get him for sexual harassment.
Plaintiff Lisa Romero is suing her former landlord because she claims he sexually harassed her for months and even offered her money for sexual favors.
I, Lisa Romero, will be making payment a month. And on January 1st, I will only be able to pay $300 towards January. I will pay all my past due rent and make my rent current and will not file a sexual harassment case against you. Sir, did you do it? Did you sign an agreement with her where she said she would not file a sexual harassment claim?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you have your license today? I can compare signatures. Ma'am, I hope you didn't forge your signature, else your case is gone. This certainly is not a forgery, sir.
Your Honor.
This is your
Your Honor,
signature.
that's not. Your Honor, that's not original.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Sir, I believe you're every bit of the sexual pervert predator that she calls you. I believe you're every bit of it.
Can I see that page?
No, you can't see nothing. I've seen your signature and I've seen this signature.
That's a photocopy.
You are an
That's a
insult to
photocopy.
me. You are an insult to this court. You should be prosecuted by her for sexual assault. Get
This
out of
is-
my courtroom. Your claim is dismissed. Yours is granted. Have a good day.
It's done. Don't have to deal with him anymore. It's frustrating and exhausting and
Tired of the harassment.